Hello, everyone. Pastor Greg here. A couple of announcements to begin. A couple weeks from now, less than a couple weeks from now, we have our confirmation weekend. And that starts with the Thursday, April 25th with our examination. And then the late service on the 28th with confirmation. We've been kind of stating this for a little while, and you, of course, are invited to any of the services you want to come. We just want you to come, of course. If you want to be a part of confirmation, feel free. That'd be fine. But we do ask that you maybe start thinking about sitting in the balcony so that the parents and the loved ones can sit closer to where their child will be getting confirmed that day. Or if you are able to come that weekend on either Saturday night or Sunday morning early, that would be great. The sermon is still going to be the same throughout, except for, of course, Thursday. That's a different format. But if you are able to come to Saturday or early because you don't necessarily have a connection with the students, to give room for the families, we would appreciate that. Also, I just want to give you a thank you to all who are helping out with raising funds for our youth rally coming up. We have raised quite a bit of money so far, and we're only in April. We've raised, with your help, I think close to or maybe even over $15,000, and we still have a few more fundraisers to go. We still have Fill the Bus. It's going to continue all the way to the end. So if you just want to make a donation, simply just put it in the box. We have 2 brat fries that are coming up that you'll get more information about. That first one is in the middle of May, and the next one's the beginning of June, that you can just come, enjoy a brat, and donate to that cause. And we have that Hire a Helper that has been going on. We have some informational packets, some sheets that are in the church for you if you want to take that. And let us know what kind of help you would need, and we will coordinate that with you and with the parents of the teens to try to get them to your house or wherever it is that you might need some help. And a donation will be made by you to go directly to those students. We do stress, though, please do not just hand them cash. We want to make sure this is going toward their youth rally trip. So your donation can go in an envelope. You can seal it with the name of the children, the students that are helping out, the teens that are helping out on the envelopes. Then the money, actually 100% of what you donate, will go towards the cost of their own personal youth rally trip. If you have questions about that, feel free to contact me at any time. Today, I did a devotion for Little Panther Playdates, and I wonder, what are some of the things that you might take for granted? A lot of times we only think about certain areas of our life when something goes wrong. For instance, maybe you don't think about your feet unless your foot hurts, or you don't think about air unless you are struggling to breathe, or whatever it might be that we oftentimes take for granted, some of the blessings that God gives to us just to make us so that we can live. And one of those areas for the Little Panther Playdates today was on bugs. We are getting in that time of year again where it's getting warmer, and when you go outside, there's going to be bugs. And a lot of times we think of them as these hugely negative thing that is in our world that we wonder, why are they here? Well, I did a devotion on bugs. Didn't get into a lot of deep details, of course. We were dealing with some young kids. But it made me start to think about the different areas where God has given us bugs in order to do work. Simply like bees. Maybe when you hear of honeybees, you instantly are thinking, oh, they're a bunch of pests. I don't want them in my house. I don't want them around me. They're going to sting me. And that's what you think about. And maybe that's happened and giving you that thought process in your life. But when I was doing bees, I was told that if we didn't have bees, we actually would not survive. We couldn't live. The cross-pollination of the bees that they do in our world, that God has told them to do, makes it so that we can actually live and eat and survive. That's pretty remarkable. And all of that happens throughout the many different areas of the bug world. From the examples I gave was ants, bees, praying mantis. There's so many different areas where you can look and see how God created a bug to do a certain job. And we need that bug to do that job so that we can actually live. Pretty remarkable, isn't it? And all of that brought to mind this Bible passage I want to read to you from the book of Psalms. Psalm 66, verse 4. All the earth bows down to you. They sing praise to you. They sing the praises of your name. I don't know if that causes a little guilt trip on your heart. It does to me. Because you think about a praying mantis. I know it's got the name, it's praying all the time. That's what the job is. But the job of an animal like that is to eat tinier bugs that are getting in the way of the crops that are trying to grow. So that you can have food, so that I can have food. And they're doing the job that God told them to do. God programmed this into them to do this. Bees, same thing. And by doing the jobs that God programmed them to do, they are singing God's praises. Showing his glory, showing his magnificence, showing his wisdom in all that they do because God told them to do that. And again, that might cause a little bit of a guilt trip because what has God told us to do? Well, we're to do the same thing. We're to sing his praises. And that's not just on a Sunday morning during church or Thursday, Saturday, whenever we go to church. And that's every day. God has programmed us in a way to sing his praises. That's the reason why he created us. So we can sing the praises of God who called us out of darkness into his light. And we can sing the praises of God of all that he has done for us. And quite honestly, I know I've failed. I have failed in that area because I don't always sing God's praises. A lot of times there's other things coming out of my mouth that are definitely not praising God in that moment. But as we think about the bugs, and we think about this creation and how God has made it in such a marvelous way for you, for me, we think about how often we are not doing what God tells us to do. A question for you. A question that maybe is going to motivate you to think more about your life of praising. And it's simply this. How many of the bugs that you get did Jesus die for? None. But how many of you who are listening to these very words coming out of my mouth, for how many of you did Jesus die? Every single one. That Jesus has created this world in order for it to function and work so that it actually helps us. And then Jesus, realizing that we don't always do what we're told, or we don't always follow the praises and want to sing praises to God, died for you. Do you see how much he loves you? He died for you to show you love, to give you heaven, to give you forgiveness. That's amazing. All creation, all the earth bows down to you. We all sing your praises, dearest Jesus. May God be with you and give you that joy of seeing, once again, how much Jesus loves you. God bless.